All right, Bitcoin Cash. So taking a look, now that we have that candle closure, we have the monthly close, 3 month close, and the 6 month close. Okay. But I want to first start off on what exactly the setup was that I was looking at for Bitcoin Cash. And that is a 3 month internal to external setup. All right. So we created a monthly 3 month inefficiency here, not monthly. This is a 3 month chart. All right. You can see price dropped into this area and we closed right on the top of that area. And the very next candle started to push up extremely high. All right. And it was going after my first target above 718, $718. But as you can see, once we got up here, at one point, we were less than $100 off of the target. And then FOMC hit, and then the selling started to happen. And we kind of just fell all the way back. All right. This is not what I like to see in terms of price going after external liquidity, which sits up here at 718, right? We need to get above 718 to hit that area of liquidity. The thing is, when you have a candle with a wick like this, it's just not the most inspiring thing you want to see, because if I go over here to Binance, you can see the one that Binance did was very clean. So we had the 3 month area right here. You can see price dropped in, closed outside of the gap, in the very next candle, boom, we went straight through not all-time high. I'm sorry, yeah, all-time high. We went straight through the previous all-time high, and now we're actually just hovering in the low 700s, okay? I wanted to see the same thing for Bitcoin Cash, right? Now, even though it didn't happen, it doesn't mean that this pattern is invalidated, right? This behavior for this setup, it's still in play. This becomes invalid when price starts to break below 274, right? Whatever the low is here, it's 274.28. So if we start going below 270, then that's when I'd say, okay, Bitcoin Cash may not be a part of this bull run. But right now, we're still okay. All right. We just need dominance to fall, and we just need Bitcoin Cash to move, right? We know Bitcoin Cash is a laggard compared to most of the market, but when it moves hard. Okay. So here's what we have going for us. Our 6 month candle did take out the previous 6 month high. All right. We do have this long wick. This is going to be something we need to get through. All right. So the first thing I want to see is I want to see price get through the midpoint of this wick that we now have confirmed. So if I move this over, that price level is $536 and a half, right? So 536.55. Okay. If we can close above this on a 3 month perspective, it's healthy. But on our way up here, you're going to see turbulence when we hit this number. So if I drop down to the monthly, take a look. You can see that's exactly in the area where these monthly candle bodies are. All right. So we need to get above that. Also, on this time frame, in the last video, I said we were likely going to create a gap in here. At the time I did that video, this candle was a small body. It had a very small body on it, small wicks to the downside. And there was actually a space right in here. And I was saying, this looks like price wants to create a new monthly imbalance. And if so, we would use that as support to go higher. Take a look at Bitcoin. This is what I thought was going to happen on the monthly chart for a Bitcoin Cash. Okay. This exact image. But when FOMC happened, price dropped and we closed in that space entirely. And now no gap can be made here. All right. That idea is gone and invalidated. So the question is now, do we have anything that can actually help us push higher? And the only thing I see on the weekly, because nothing is here on the monthly, right? I don't see anything here on the monthly as a means of us going higher technically, okay? What I see right now is the monthly low from the previous month, right? December is down here at 390. And the high is at 642. The problem is we're here. And if you think about that little trend, right, inside bars are extremely rare, then that means we're likely going to revisit either an extreme 390 or an extreme 640. But do we have anything that can actually help us figure out which way it's going to go? If I come down to the weekly, this is all I see, guys. Take a look. I talked about this area staying open, and you can see it did not remain open. Price dropped down. This was the week of FOMC. Price dropped down, and look at the reaction. Boom. We went straight into this gap, filled it entirely, and look at the reaction. This is a bullish response off of this, but the following candle just didn't show the continuation. It didn't show the strength to continue higher. Instead, this following week had a small body and it ended up creating a bearish inefficiency. This is not good to see. What this means is if Bitcoin Cash wants to continue higher, we first have to come into this area at 475 and break through it. We need to show strength through 475 and use it as support. Then we can start looking at this as a continuation. Okay, so if you take a look at the right side of the chart where the price axis is, you can see where my alerts are. My first alert is down here underneath this low. If we get below this low, this is bad. This likely means that we may be going after that 290 level, okay? Because we don't want to see this low taken. All right, I'd like to see this hold. Take a look at how price reaches down in here and just moves away very quickly. There are traders underneath here. If price comes back down here, then they are released, right? So the people who was shorting here, if price comes back down here, those traders are released, meaning that price isn't looking to wreck them. They get to get out at break even. I want to see price drag that liquidity higher. But my next alert is inside this weekly level because I want to see how price reacts if it gets back in here. Obviously, we got to go in here if we're going to go higher. The next alert is up here at this high, which is 640. And that is the high from the monthly, previous month. That's up here, okay? And then my last alert is obviously at the 3-month target, all right? But in terms of what I'm looking at right now, over the next several weeks, I'm watching to see what does price do once it gets inside of this bearish inefficiency on the weekly, and what happens if we continue lower and attack this weekly swing low that was already in this bullish inefficiency. If we can start to tear through 475 and go higher, I'll make a new update and let you guys know likely how we're going to get to 640. All right. So that is my analysis and update for Bitcoin Cash. Right now, the weekly is going to tell which way price is going to go. After we get through 475, we have this area on the daily that has not been hit yet. This is going to be turbulence, okay? So price will likely go in here and you will see price kind of fall out. And from there, we'll need to see if there's anything on the daily that has formed that can help us push past it. All right. That's my analysis for Bitcoin Cash. Hope you enjoyed this. If you like this video, check out my other videos I did for the December close, such as Bitcoin and HBAR. Think you'll like those.